Welcome to Geek Archaeology. Today I'm digging up the Timex Sinclair 1000, released in 1982 for $99. It was the cheapest home computer on the market, and it was my very first personal computer, if I remember correctly. So let's take a look. Welcome to the Timex Sinclair. A number of years ago, I don't know, a decade or whatever, netbooks were the big thing, right? Like tiny little computers that you could take anywhere. And look at this form factor. They were awesome. Yeah, and then you have the Timex Sinclair, which was a fun little thing that I got when I was a kid. So originally there was a sticker here across the top that said Timex Sinclair. Yeah, so this thing's amazing. Now you might go, "Oh, Ken, why don't you boot it up?" Like that might have to be another episode with I don't know, research and expertise consulted because I don't know. This thing's old, and I don't know that I have what I need to actually get it to boot up. I don't even know if it would actually boot up. But you know what? It would be kind of worth checking out because I think that might be a nice, fun side quest. But first, let's talk about the Timex Sinclair. So it truly is a computer. You can boot this puppy up, and you can write programs on it. And I wrote a goodly number of programs on it as a kid. You hooked it up to your television. I had like a black and white TV that my parents gave me for this purpose, and that television served as its monitor. You could have an external cassette recorder, which served as its hard drive. So you'd get a cassette tape, put it in there, and then like press record, and that's how you would record your program. And then to load it, you'd have to like rewind and play it again to load the program into memory. It came with an amazing amount of memory, 2K of onboard RAM. You can expand it to 16, but I did not. So again, output onto your television was black and white. There was no sound. It features this membrane keyboard, which is has to be really felt to be believed. It has no moving parts. Instead, you press down on it, and there's pressure pads underneath that capture your typing input. And if that sounds like it might be hard to type on, it was. It didn't stop me, but it was definitely hard to type on because, it wouldn't always capture your key press. And then you'd realize that you messed it up and then you'd have to go back and do it again. It ran a modified version of the basic programming language. I would happily spend hours recreating programs from magazine like Byte, which would publish code with the expectation that you would do this or write your own code. I can remember doing a skiing program. It took me, I don't know, the better part of a weekend. And then happily playing the game that I managed to copy from a magazine. And I wrote some of my own programs too. I don't know, I might have done some very basic, like try to come up with my own first character sheet or something like that for D&D, but mostly I will say it was mostly learning basic and working with other people's programs. Let's see, on the sides you've got some inputs. So well, ear, maybe it would have had sound, I don't know. It's got ear and mic. Those are probably the in and outs for the that's what it is. It's the in and outs for the cassette tape. It's I don't think you actually recorded anything. But it had 9-volt DC, so I should probably be able to find one of those lying around somewhere. And then, hey, there's that TV out. The biggest challenge might be me finding a TV that could actually handle the out. So it was fun. It was frustrating. The keyboard, I remember being a particular headache and my fingers being sore after typing on this thing for a couple hours. And I eventually moved on to more powerful computers like the Commodore 64, which was my true first computer that I had that was functional, that was really mine, that I was able to do a lot with. Also, the Commodore 128, which both of those I played a ton of Ultima games on. Ultima 2, Ultima 4, wrote some of my first real programs that actually did stuff. Like, I wrote my own choose your own adventure style thing and a bunch of other stuff for programming class. I also had my parents' Apple II. I think that was the one that I did a lot of programming on as well. To start, my mom was a computer programmer and she wanted me to know how to program. And so she taught me. And honestly, I really wanted to do it. It was cool to go from this to the Apple II Plus, which I currently have sitting in my office at work, onward to the Commodores. So this Sinclair still boot? I have no idea. Again, I don't have a power adapter handy, but I'm sure I could find one. We'll see. Like all of these things I talked about, they're solvable problems at this point, right? So we'll see. I think it would be a fun weekend experiment to see if I could get this thing to boot up. Did you have a Timex Sinclair? I would love to hear your stories of programming on this or heck, any other computer. What was your favorite computer to learn programming on? And I will take more modern examples. You can leave your comments on our YouTube channel, or you can stop by our website at lairofsecrets.com.